Good morning, welcome to this mono commute. Before I start this episode, a quick reminder, please do not text and drive. Be safe, don't get distracted. I intentionally use an action cam without the monitor so it won't distract me while I'm filming, and this is basically as if I would be talking to you on the speakerphone. I just finished coming from the gym doing Muay Thai, so excuse me if I am a little bit sweaty potentially and maybe a little bit out of breath. By the way, if you want to know a little bit about my Muay Thai or martial arts history, watch that video why I train martial arts in the info tab above. In the last episode that I recorded before I went here to the gym, I talked about Harry Potter, the Philosopher's Stone, the book and the movie. And obviously today it is the second episode or the second part of the Harry Potter saga, which is the Chamber of Secrets. And yeah, to give you a quick rundown of that book and that movie, I will try not to spoil anything, but it is a very old, in air quotes, very old series of books, and I assume that most of you have seen or read the books and the movies, but because I really enjoy them and I really want you, if you haven't read or watched the movies, to actually go into the series. And therefore I will try not to spoil anything, to give you a brief rundown of my history with Harry Potter. I actually always, when it came out, I did not have any interest in actually watching the movies because I thought they were kids movies, kids books, and I accidentally stumbled upon the third part of the series, which surprised me a lot because I thought, oh, that's much more grim and dark than I would have anticipated for a kids movie. So I got interested and started reading the books in German, in English. I have all of the audiobooks, one in English read by Stephen Fry, which I can highly recommend, but also in German by Rufus Beck and I forgot his first name, but Manteuffel is his last name. The ones with Rufus Beck are, in my humble opinion, much better. So the story is about Harry Potter, who for the first 10 years of his life did not know he was descendant from two sorcerer and sorceress, and found out on his 10th birthday that he is a sorcerer and he is able to visit Hogwarts, the school for magic. And he started going to school. This is the second year, and his parents died because they were killed by Lord Voldemort, who also wanted to kill him but did not succeed and actually died in trying to kill Harry Potter, which is why he is so famous in the wizarding world, which he didn't know, but which also means that there is a force that is trying to do evil, let's say that way, and potentially also is trying to kill him. And yes, the story of the Chamber of Secrets is, this is the second year in Hogwarts, and he is coming back to school, or he wants to come back to school, but there are some things that are preventing him from going back to Hogwarts, which turns out to be this house elf who sabotages every move of him going back to Hogwarts. But he manages to go back to Hogwarts and start school. There's this new teacher, Defense Against Dark Arts teacher, who is, I'm not sure what the English word is, but he is very obnoxious. I think that's the word. He is to be believed to be very famous and handsome in terms of, let's say, older women. um, and he writes books, but he always showboats and tells everyone what he's done and how good he is and stuff like that. But in actuality, he doesn't achieve anything. And during the school year, there are a couple of attacks where students get petrified. So they aren't deaf, but they are out of stone. Imagine the curse of the Medusa, where you look at the Medusa and turn into stone. I think that is the word for petrified. And I hope I did not. That's not a spoiler. There's no Medusa, but maybe a little bit of a hint what's going on. And it turns out that there is a chamber of secrets hidden in Hogwarts, and it only can be opened by the heir of Slytherin. Slytherin is one of the 4 houses which spawned a lot of the evil people. For instance, Voldemort, our antagonist or villain of the Harry Potter saga, came from the house of Slytherin. So everyone is kind of frightened that the heir of Slytherin has returned and had opened the Chamber of Secret to attack all that are not pure blood and not worthy of being a sorcerer or sorceress. And yeah, that's basically the story and why Harry and his friends want to kind of solve that mystery of the Chamber of Secrets. This story is definitely much more, it's not much more, yeah, it is much more interesting than the first book. And in my first review, I said that if I had to rate all of the books, the first one potentially would be my least favorite. But because it is the start of this whole world and it establishes the world, it is so fascinating, the first book, which is why I was hesitating to call it my least favorite. But the story of the Chamber of Secrets is much better and much more interesting than the first one. And the characters are, yeah, I think this guy, the new teacher that is showboating a lot, he's annoying, but to a degree where it is entertaining for you as a reader. If that person would be around me, I would get mad. But as a reader, it is entertaining. So overall, I would say the story is much better. But again, the first book establishes this wizarding world, which makes it so much better and more interesting. And therefore, I would level both books, the first and the second book, on the same score overall. So I would say those two are great books, but the least favorite of the whole series overall. And now talking about, so the book is amazing. Stephen Fry narrates the whole story really well. Rufus Beck in German does a great job as well. Now going to the movie. The movie is much better than the first movie. As I said in the previous episode, the movie was to me a little bit childish. The VFX did not age that well. The VFX in this one also not that great, but okay-ish. It is still a kids movie, but I feel like because they do not have to establish so much of the world, they still rush through the movie and through the storyline, but it's not as rushed as the first one. So it's starting to become enjoyable. Nevertheless, if you are starting with Harry Potter or the Harry Potter movies, then I would say start with the third one. That's way better, or the fourth one. So overall, I would say, for me, I'm still trying to get a grip on these kind of reviews. I think with movies, it's more easier. I feel with books, reviewing a book is very difficult, or it feels very difficult to me without spoiling too much. And yeah, I would say The Chamber of Secrets is a great book, very interesting story, very cool characters. It starts to get dark in these books. Also, don't forget, these books were intended to grow with the kids that are starting to read these books. So obviously there's no death, which is, I would say, which is why they get petrified and they don't die. But yeah, that will change pretty soon, next book. So you realize that these books become more dark, and yeah, for us adults, more entertaining and interesting. But again, the movies, wouldn't they're okay-ish. I wouldn't start with the first and second one if you are just getting into it. But maybe you need to, just to understand the world. But I would rather read the books instead of watching the movie, especially since the first two books aren't that long comparatively to the other books. So I would argue it is fairly easy just to read or to listen to the audiobooks first and then maybe watch the movies. Also, if you are in Germany, Audible Germany actually includes the Harry Potter books for free in your Audible subscription. In German, unfortunately. But still, if you want to get into them and you don't want to, let's say you don't want to actually pay for everyone, then the Audible membership, no ad by the way, I'm not sponsored by Audible, I wish though, then I would say get an Audible subscription if you listen to audiobooks anyway, and then the Harry Potter books are basically included. So yeah, great book. Again, if I would have to rate them, of all of them, book 1 and 2 are my least favorite, and still great books. Movies, okay-ish. For kids, great. For us adults, I don't know. So yeah, what do you think about the Chamber of Secrets and the Harry Potter series overall? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video or have any questions, also comment below. If you have any feedbacks about these videos, or maybe you want to tell me what I should check out next, also comment below, let me know. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, but also my main channel, Instagram, podcast, where I have new episodes every 2 weeks. And yeah, my Patreon, @YouKnowTheBow. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Drive safe, and I see you in the next videos. Thank you very much.